friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Emily and we are starting another little, week in the life vlog, something along the lines of that. I've been wanting to film another knitting video, but I have been exclusively knitting on my shawl test knit that I mentioned, dumping everything, in my knitting podcast. This one we'll talk about it in a little while. And I haven't worked on anything else because my knitting time has been so minimal. I'm just trying to get that test knit done. And then the plan is that people need to stop publishing great test knits so that I can take a break from test knits. Thank you. I've just realized that I've just been doing so many test knits since my baby was born at the end of last summer that I'm just feeling a little bit burnt out with them, especially now that my knitting time has gotten drastically reduced again, that I just feel like I have no time to knit on the things that I want to knit on, and that's just sad. So I haven't been feeling particularly inspired or really wanting to do much knitting because I have to work on this one project. So I'm really trying to speed through and get this shawl done, and then I am going to, sorry, my eye is just like doing that thing where it's like, yeah. Anyway. I'm really trying to speed through and get this shawl done so that then I can work on the projects I want to work on. But I'm also doing a little bit of other crafting. I'm working on a collection of baby bibs. There are a couple of babies that have been born in my family and then like my husband's extended family. And so I'm making up a couple bundles of baby bibs to send off to the mamas, and I'm really excited about it. One of them is for my husband's cousin, and one of them is for my sister-in-law, and I just thought it would be really lovely to make a little collection of baby bibs for them in the style that I have found to be my favorite, and I'm going to put little snaps in them because I so dislike the baby bibs that have Velcro on them, because then when you throw them in the wash they stick to everything and it's so annoying. So I'm making the style that I really like, and I'm going to try and get those done this week and shipped off, and then hopefully I'm going to try and squeeze in a little bit of either cutting out a dress for myself or knitting on some other fun projects. So that's what we have to look forward to. But my Walmart grocery delivery is arriving, so we'll check back in later. Okay, groceries have been put away, so I thought I'd quickly show my shawl progress. I have completed the triangle A, which is this first stripy triangle, and I am working on this seed stitch triangle B, which is just in the main color, so it's been such a nice break from all the striping and swapping colors and stuff. Still have a few ends on that section to weave in. All the rest of them are woven in, but I'm working my way. I think I have just under 30 rows left for triangle B, and then I will start on triangle C. So this has still got another probably 2+ weeks of work, just because of, again, my limited knitting time. But I've just been slowly chugging away at this. And one of my favorite things to do while I'm knitting is to read books on my Kindle. And so I thought that I would mention the book that I'm currently reading, which is A Quiet Life in the Country by T.E. Kinsey. And this is a book that I saw recommended to me on one of my favorite YouTube channels to watch, which is Jen from Jen's Reading Life. And she recently mentioned this again in one of her videos, and I was just in between books, needed something to read, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. I absolutely love it. If you're interested in more of a detailed review, you can check out my Waldenburn Reads YouTube channel, which is where I do like monthly reading wrap-ups and things of that nature, and I'll talk more about it there. But I do highly recommend it if you like cozy, like what is it, interwar golden age murder mysteries, that sort of a thing. Highly recommend it. It's very funny. The banter and like the quips back and forth are hilarious. It's just it's been so much fun, and I am like 80% of the way through according to my Kindle, so I'm hoping I can wrap it up quickly here before the boys wake up from their nap. But that's what I'm going to work on for a while now. Hello friends, hopefully you can hear me okay. Trying to be a little quiet because the boys are sleeping. Pardon the crazy hair today. I did not get much sleep last night, and so no showering has happened. It's just kind of been one of those days. But I'm wearing my Tulsa tee. I actually haven't hardly worn this one because when I finished it I was pregnant and far too warm to wear it, but I've realized that it's actually perfect for this like mid-60s weather that we're having now. Yeah, so while the boys are napping, I'm going to try and get a little bit of sewing and cooking and different stuff done. I'm going to try and get these bibs ironed and maybe even top stitched. And then I thought I'd pull one of my whips out of my pile of shame spot. I have done a number of different sewing projects for myself that I've tried to do, and I just have maybe between 5 and 10 different projects. I think it's closer to 5 than 10 that just flopped, that did not work for whatever reason, and I just didn't have the brain space to deal with it. So I was like, you know what, we're going to try and pull this one out of the pile of shame and fix it. This is supposed to be a nursing friendly dress, but as you can see, my underneath layer is just being pulled down by the weight of the skirt. I probably made the skirt a little bit too gathered, so it's too heavy, so it's just dragging it down. So I'm going to experiment and see if I can, under here, just make, I guess, basically a dart, like just stitch a giant wedge of fabric out and see how that looks, because it's all going to be hidden. It's not going to be seen. That's the goal anyway. So I don't really have anything to lose, and if I do that, then I will have a cute, wearable, nursing-friendly dress, and if I don't do that, it's going to continue to sit in my sad whip pile. So I'm going to give that a shot and see what happens. Okay, I think that worked like a charm. It is definitely not the most flattering dress, and I realized that I put the pockets in a little too low, but I think I just serged everything, so I don't think those are getting moved, and they'll work for putting pacifiers in them, which is what I mostly need pockets for, but I think it worked out. So I just put a giant dart in this underlayer, and so now I just need to do like a cutout there so that then you can like pull it up and nurse. But I think it actually worked, which I'm really pleased about. This has been sitting in there just dwindling, and this is like the most springy print of fabric. This is just some fabric that I got from Walmart. They have like these pre-cut rolls of fabric, and I got this sometime last year. I can't remember exactly when, but yeah, like it worked. So now I just need to figure out where and how to cut the little cutout out, and I think I've got a dress, which is fantastic. Okay, I managed to get 6 of the bibs top stitched, and then I have 6 more to do, but a little Bubby over here, who did not nap very well today. He's starting to get kind of sleepy and fussy, so I need to nurse him and try and get him sorted. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I got that done. I got that other dress like sorted out, which is so exciting. It's just been sitting there like looking at me funny. I'll probably try and wear it tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to go and put a t-shirt on. That's the one thing is that I've definitely noticed is that like later in the day, when it's warmed up more, this starts getting very, very warm for me. So I'm switching out for a t-shirt, but I have really enjoyed wearing my Tulsa tee this morning. It's just so pretty and flattering and lovely, and I love it, and I want to wear more. But yeah, so I'm going to go and nurse the baby and read a little bit more of my next book that I'm reading, because I finished the other one I talked about before. I'm now reading Business as Usual by Jane Oliver and Anne Stafford. This is another book that was recommended by Jen from Jen's Reading Life. Loving it so far. It's written in letter format, and it's so good. It's about a girl that goes to, she's waiting, she's having a year-long engagement, and while she is engaged, she's going to work in this store. And it's just kind of talking about her writing letters back to her family and her fiance, and I'm loving it so much. I'm probably gonna finish it today. So, yeah. He's protesting. He was squeaking and squawking so loudly while I was sewing. It was the cutest thing. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, it was trash day, so it's Wednesday. We've had a pretty productive, busy day. It's been really lovely. We went out and ran errands, and it was so nice because my baby napped like the whole time. We went to Hobby Lobby. We didn't end up getting anything. I was looking for one specific thing and they didn't have it. Dropped off a ton of stuff at Goodwill and found some picture frames and a couple picture books. One of which is this one right here. I collect little golden books, and I particularly like to try and find the vintage ones. And this one is one that's by Margaret Wise Brown and illustrated by Garth Williams, which Garth Williams is like one of my favorite illustrators. So we found that, and then we went to Aldi to grab some other groceries. And got home, played outside in the yard for a while, as you will have seen from the video clips. I did a little bit of knitting on my Tulsa tee. I finished the triangle C or triangle B on my shawl, and that is one of my nap time to-do list things, is to sit down and figure out how to start working on triangle C, because it's this weird, like you have to do like a provisional cast on, I think, or something. I don't remember exactly, but you have to do like this whole thing. So I need to sit down and focus and not have kids around and like get it started so that I can start working on the last triangle of that shawl, which I'm so excited about. And then right now I'm sitting and trying to fold a bunch of laundry. I made myself an eggplant lasagna, so we'll see how that tastes in about 5 minutes. I am currently doing a thing where I'm going completely grain and sweetener free, and a lot of starch veggies and things like that, like just basically cutting out a ton of different stuff. So I mainly eat meat, still a lot of veggies and fruits, but that's about it. So I made myself, or in dairy products for sure, for the protein. High protein, high fat, low carbs. Well, it's not really low carbs because there's a lot of carbs in vegetables and fruits and things, but specific carbs. But yeah, so I'm trying to get caught up on some laundry and get that done and out of the way, and I'm watching a couple YouTube videos, and that's where we're at. But yeah, I really need to sit and figure out this next phase of my shawl so I can work on that a little bit more. And then this afternoon, once the boys are up, we're probably going to go back out in the yard and play and enjoy this beautiful spring weather. I've been wearing my dress all day today, which has been really, really nice. I've nursed in it a couple times and it works. It's really lovely. I don't think that I would make another one of these anytime soon because this piece here that you see, it keeps flipping up like that, and then it does still somewhat show the underneath piece, which is annoying, but it's been very comfortable and cute, and I feel very springy. I was able to shower first thing this morning when just the baby was up. I put the gate in front of this tiny little bathroom we have here and real quick jumped in the shower. He did not appreciate it, but I was just like, I have got to wash my hair. I'm going on like 3 nights of very little sleep, and I need to feel better and wash my hair. So that's what I did. But yeah, my timer's going off, so I'm going to go and check on my lasagna and keep folding laundry and knitting. Good morning, friends. So it is pretty early in the morning, just about 7. The boys are still asleep, but the baby's like imminently going to be waking up. I just happened to have woke up at like 5:30, 5:45 to nurse the baby, and then was just wide awake. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and get up. So I've been kind of up and down because I got up for a little bit and ate a little snack, drank a bunch of water, started doing some knitting, and the baby fussed a little bit, so then I went back and nursed him again, and then came back out. My husband just left for work like 15-20 minutes ago. And it's just starting to get like bright outside. This is my favorite thing to do during the spring summertime, is when it's starting to get bright outside and then I can get up early. I love it so much. It's hard to do when you have a baby, so I'm just enjoying today. Yesterday was kind of took a turn. So we had the most cozy, lovely afternoon. Just the boys and I were hanging outside, and then I was sitting in the hammock with the baby, and he was like getting sleepy, so he was just snuggled up. I was kind of like laying back in it. He was snuggled up on one side, just like staring up at me with his big blue eyes and just cuddling, and it was so cute. We were just swinging back and forth, and then my toddler came running and he got in, so he was on the other side. And so I've got both my boys in the hammock, and we're just like swinging back and forth, and my toddler and I were talking about like springtime, and I was explaining to him that the trees are getting their leaf dresses back on, and we were talking about the birds and the squirrels and the rabbits and all that stuff. And it was one of those moments where you realize that like, this is it. Like, I've got it made. Like, this is what I've dreamed of my whole life, sort of a thing. And it was just, we were in there for like probably, it was a long time. It might have been 30 plus minutes. Like, it was so, so nice. We were just swinging back and forth and just chilling. And it was amazing. It was like a little bit breezy, and it was sunshiny, and it was just one of those magic moments. And it was like, I knew it like in the moment, where it was just like, I am so contented and so happy. And like, those moments don't happen super, super often where it's like you're really aware of them. So it was amazing. But then after that, my husband came home and he was going to mow the yard. And so he was mowing the yard with the toddler on his backpack carrier. So I was working on supper stuff and getting it all ready. And then he got done mowing. He took the toddler out to the shed. They were hanging out. And then like 5 minutes later, he comes back in and my toddler is like screaming, crying, distraught, upset. And he'd managed to slip and like bonk his chin. And he like split it. So not just like a scratch, but he'd like split it a bit. So poor little guy. My husband had to run to the store and get some specific band-aids that we didn't have that we needed for it, and so we got it bandaged up. Like it wasn't terrible. It was just one of those childhood bonks, but it's probably the most severe injury that my toddler has had so far, I think. And so he was just really upset, and then I'm like calling my mom to make sure I'm doing it right, that I'm putting it back together, and what am I supposed to do with it? Because this is a split, this isn't a cut. And so she just recommended that we get these things. There's a brand name that's like Steri Strips or something, but it's just like this little narrow like tape bandages, and you just kind of put one on one side and kind of try and close the split up a bit and put it on the other side. You put 2 or 3 of them on there and then do that. So poor little guy, he was just, it was so hard because when we were putting the band-aids on after my husband got back, like my husband had to like basically put him in like a headlock and hold his arms and legs, and he's just screaming because he's just like, why? What is going on? So thankfully we got it sorted. He's fine, he's good. He slept amazingly last night. I don't think he woke up once. Like, he'll be good. He'll be all good. I'll probably give him a little bit of arnica this morning. I forgot to give it to him last night. Arnica is just phenomenal for any like bruises and swelling and bonks and things. So I have a couple different bottles on hand that anytime a bad bang or bruise or whatever happens, he gets some arnica. So yeah, it was kind of a weird transition of this like perfect, cozy, wonderful moment to like a screaming baby injured and needing assistance. So it was a little bit weird. We didn't end up eating supper until like almost 7:30, I think. So it was just odd. But yeah. So I'm gonna try and sit here and do a little bit more knitting on my shawl for a couple more minutes until the boys wake up, and then we're gonna get on with our day. Okay, we're right back where we started this morning, on the couch. Nap time's been a little bit weird because my toddler went down first today, and then it took a good bit after that, like maybe 45 minutes or so, before my baby went down, and so my nap time is a little bit off today as far as free time, but it's fine. I just got done answering some emails and doing a little bit of work. I'm a very, 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 very part-time, like, bookkeeper, I think is what you would technically call it, for this really cool, like, homeschooling school co-op thing. Yeah, I work, like, less, usually 5 hours or less a month, so it's a very part-time, but it covers car insurance, which is really nice. So I just did that, and now I have about 15 minutes before I need to get my toddler up, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out this video so I'm gonna do a little bit more knitting today. I think I shared a little bit of it earlier in a clip, but I have started Triangle C. It's all a little bit floppy and wonky, and it's a very interesting shawl construction. Not my favorite by any stretch, but it's okay. Yeah, so I'm going to keep working on this. I'm going to finish watching my Audrey's Crafting Corner video. I always love it when she puts up a video. She's one of my favorite YouTubers to watch. And there's a few other videos from different people that I can watch as well, but I'm going to try and finish up her video and just have a little bit of cozy time. I wanted to go ahead and end this here because this is the week where my husband gets Friday off, which is tomorrow's Friday. So, he is going to be off and home, and so it's always a little bit more awkward to try and film things. So I'm going to wrap it up here, and we'll just have a lovely, cozy weekend. I was going to say I might try and film some snippets and then maybe do another vlog early next week, but probably not, to be honest. Unless I end up having like a crazy amount of sewing time or something, which I'm not expecting. So I hope that you have enjoyed this vlog. I have really enjoyed kind of trying to capture little bits and pieces here and talk about the books that I've been reading, which, hold on, I need to mention, where's my Kindle? Do I have my Kindle? There's it out there. I think it's over here. I just finished reading you can't hardly see it, but it's the Wallflowers by Temple Bailey, which is a book that was recommended to me by one of my lovely email friends. I have like 2 or 3 of those now, and it is so nice. It's like having pen pals in a modern day era, and it's just one of my favorite things. Love it so much. But one of my email friends recommended Temple Bailey as an author to me, and I just finished reading The Wallflowers earlier today, and it is so good. I so enjoyed it. It was just lovely. It reminded me a lot of like Louisa May Alcott's writing, and it just had like a similar cozy feel to it. It's the story of the twin sisters and their mom who are recently, I guess, sort of impoverished. Their dad died within the last, I don't know, relatively shortly before the story begins, and so they've had to move into the city. I think they're living in Washington, D.C. area. They were in Virginia, but I think they had to move to, they called it Washington, but it wasn't like Washington State, so I think it was probably Washington, D.C. Anyway, somewhere around there. And they are living in like an efficiency apartment rather than living in their old family home, and the mom's having to work, and the 2 girls are at home and stuff. And it's just so lovely. It's just talking about them sort of finding their place in the world, growing up. They were 18 when the story begins, and so they kind of have to grow up, and it's like falling in love and getting jobs and like just living life. I loved it. I've already gotten another Temple Bailey book. I'm definitely planning to read that one pretty quickly here, so highly recommend it if you like Louisa May Alcott and stories written in that similar time period. I think this one was written in like 1927 maybe? Can't remember for sure. So sorry. I just keep yawning. But yeah, highly recommend it. And yeah, that's it. I need to close it out here. Thank you so much for watching. I am looking forward to seeing you again on the next one, whenever that happens. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful spring so far. Bye-bye.